Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Reference Recording. Oh, this has been really enjoyable, and I've been getting a lot of very good input from all of you. Once we all figured out what a reference recording is, of course, please take note. Once again, this is not your favorite. This isn't something that you particularly like. This is what the consensus amongst the universe of classical music professionals, critics, and enthusiasts is. And it's the consensus pick as I have understood it over these past 50 years and seen it and discussed it and heard about it and, of course, experienced it myself. The work we're talking about is Sibelius Symphony No. 2. And you folks have already picked the consensus reference recordings because there are two. This is not a work that has one reference recording. It has two. And it's a very, very interesting fact. I mean, one of the things that's fun about this stuff is that we get to talk about discographic history and also the uniqueness of each piece and how these choices come to be made or came to be made. So the two picks are, just a moment, for Sibelius 2, George Szell with the Concertgebouw, which is his Phillips recording, because originally, we'll get to this in a second. Here it is. It's in this box. This is the Decca and Phillips recordings, all of them, from 1951 to 1969. And it's probably easier to find this now than it is to find the individual disc of that Sibelius 2. I was looking on Amazon. God knows where it is. I am praying it's available for download or streaming. One of you can tell me. It's just one of the most amazing performances of anything. Only to be equal, if not eclipsed, by Szell's live 1970 Tokyo broadcast, which was one of his last concerts before he passed away. He was terminally ill when he gave this concert. And this was issued in various formats, in various labels. Sony licensed it for a while. The Cleveland Orchestra has it available in like Szell sets that they sold. And so it's bopping around. It's around somewhere, and it is unbelievable. One of the greatest live recordings of anything ever, probably, and just an extraordinary Sibelius 2. What makes it so extraordinary? First of all, there is the usual unbelievable polish and discipline of the playing, especially in this symphony, which it requires so much by way of string articulation. I mean, Sibelius was a string player. The very opening with all marked tenuto, cha 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 cha, ya ta 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 ta. Somehow, Szell gets them to make a sound. I mean, to an articulation, a form of accent on those notes like nobody else. It's from the very beginning, and it has no dead spots. Not even in the finale, which goes around one too many times most of the time. It's just glorious all the way through. However, there was always another recording that was equally highly respected, and that was this one. Sir John Barbirolli with the Royal Philharmonic, not his Halle remake, which is much less well played and slower and duller and vastly less interesting in every possible way. It's this one with the Royal Philharmonic, which was originally, I think it was made for like RCA or something. Reader's Digest, who knows? But it was last issued on CD on Chesky. Chesky had it, and then they lost the license to it. I'm wondering what this says. No, it's BMG. Yes, it was a Reader's Digest recording by RCA Records, believe it or not. And it's one of those happenings. It's amazing. And what's fascinating about it is that the interpretation could not be more different from Szell, because whereas Szell is disciplined and rhythmic to the core, and I mean, it's not inexpressive at all, but it's classically poised, and everything is shaped and beautifully structured and whatnot. Barbirolli is like an improvisation. Barbirolli was always like an improvisation. And sometimes those improvisations went well, and sometimes they didn't, as often as not. He was a real on-again, off-again kind of conductor. But this Sibelius 2 was one of those moments everything went right. And it has all of the spontaneity, it had huge ranges of tempo variation and things. I mean, none of the stuff that Szell does. And it's equally valid. And the reason that both of these are reference recordings is because each of them reveals something about the possibilities of the music, about how it can sound. And it does so in a way which is just about perfect of its kind. When you have two diametrically opposed interpretations, each of which is absolutely perfect in its way, you can't choose. And the cool thing about this, over time, over history, as we've been, dealing with the historical aspect of a lot of these recordings, is that everybody seems to agree with that. People will say, well, okay, I love the Szell, it's fabulous, but Barbirolli is my personal favorite. Or I love the Barbirolli, but Szell is my personal favorite. I mean, it's been a very, very happy marriage of these two opposite personalities. I don't know anyone who has ever said that Szell sucks or that Barbirolli's horrifying because I like that one or the other one. It's a wonderful and very rare, I mean rare, example of how this isn't a zero-sum game. You don't have to like one thing and hate the other, or liking one thing at something else's expense. No, we can enjoy both. We can have it all. It's all ours for the taking and for the asking. And this is just one of those rare instances where you have performances of such exceptional quality, which are so different from each other, that you don't even compare them. There's no point. You can't. The aesthetic is different. The basis for them is different. You can only acknowledge their excellence and enjoy them both. And so that's what I suggest you do, because those are the reference recordings for Sibelius' Symphony No. 2. So thank you so much for joining me, friends. Keep on listening and take care.